So perhaps someone can translate for him. Tu parles français?
Je comprends anglais, c'est bon.
Bon, okay. So this is a beautiful opportunity to glorify Lord Krishna. Actually, the goal of life is to glorify Lord Krishna. Gane prayasam mudapasya namantaiva Jivanti san mukavitam bhavadiyatam stanestita shrutigatam tanuvanam ve ye prayaso jitajito pyasit prestilokyam. Lord Brahma is saying 10:14 that we should reject all types of renunciation, so-called renunciation, and we should keep our social position, wherever we are, Kiba Vipra, Kiba Nyasi, Shudra, we are Vipra, we are Shudra, we are Sannyasi, doesn't matter. We should glorify Krishna. This is the safest situation. Srila Prabhupada explained the safest place in the universe is Kirtan Ras. Kirtan Ras and Krishna Katha. So if you are into both of those things, Maya cannot even penetrate. So we will, Lord Krishna willing, discuss about Gita Mahatmya. Mahatmya means glories, and the glories of Bhagavad Gita. Obviously it's written by none other than Srila Vyasadeva. And within the book, Gita Mahatmya, you find a lot of input of Adi Shankaracharya.
What?
Adi Shankara. So we may ponder, what does he have to do here? This is, what's the connection? Why Adi Shankara is involved in glorifying Bhagavad Gita? We always hear from everyone, including Srila Prabhupada, that he's a monist. Kevala Advaitava is staunch monist. Kevala Advaitava means no room for charisma. This is Shankara philosophy in the 8th century. He's himself Lord Shiva. But lo and behold, he has written in that book, Gita Dhyanam. Dhyan means?
Knowledge.
Meditation. Dhyan, not Dhyan. Dhyan. Gita Dhyan. So, why? What does he have to do while Adi Shankara is involved in the glorifying the Bhagavad Gita? Everyone thought he was a Mayavadi. Well, Padma Puran explained very nicely. Who is Shankaracharya? Lord Shiva. So, Padma Puran is very clear. Mayavad Asat Shastram is speaking to, actually, he's speaking to his wife, Durga Devi, and he's telling, Mayavadam Asat Shastram Prachanam Vadumuchyate Mayeva Vihitam Devi Kalu Brahmana Murtina. He's telling his wife, Parvati, that in the age of Kali, I will take the form of a Brahmana. He did. And explained the Vedas through 4 scriptures. Mayavad Asat Shastram. Asat means unsubstantial, not sound. In an atheistic way. He's announcing the color. I will preach Mayavadism in an atheistic way, similar to Buddhist philosophy. And then next verse, Svagame kalpites tvam cha janammat vimukhan kuru mamsha gopaya yena syat shrishti eshatu rotaha. Now this is Lord Vishnu telling Lord Shiva, can you imagine? Make the people, make the general populace averse to me. Make them averse to me. By imagining your own interpretation of the Vedas. Cover me in such a way that people will take more interest in advancing material civilization just to propagate a population bereft of spiritual knowledge. So you can see Lord Vishnu himself, he ordered to Lord Shiva to bewilder purposefully the atheist. So no wonder Lord Adi Shankar was empowered to do so. He has been empowered by Lord Vishnu. But inside is Vaishnavanangata Shambhu, who has written Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatune, who is opening the Rath Yatra ceremony each year in Puri. Adi Shankar, Matt.
Tu peux répéter ta question, tu parles vite.
Je parle encore plus vite alors. Donc, who is introducing the Rath Yatra in Puri every year? Adi Shankar, Matt. So we have to understand he's a pure devotee. Of course, it's Lord Shiva. So this is the verse. Parataya pratibodhitam bhagavata narayana svayam vyasina gratitam puran muninam madhye mahabharate adutamrita varshinim bhagavatim ashtadashadhyayinim ambatvam manusam dadami bhagavad gita bhavadveshinim. So this is Adi Shankar is addressing Bhagavad Gita. And he gives Bhagavad Gita feminine gender. Bhagavad Gita is feminine gender. Interesting. O Bhagavad Gita, you have been instructed to Arjuna, the son of Krita, by the Lord himself. And afterwards, you were included within the Mahabharata by the ancient sage Vyasadeva. So this is a very interesting point. We're always thinking Gita is extracted from Mahabharata. This is the other way around. You have to understand this now. Vyasadeva wrote Mahabharata. Actually, one of the 3 books Vyasadeva wrote. In order, Mahabharata, Vedanta Sutra, Srimad Bhagavatam. All the other books he didn't write, because the Vedas emanate from the breathing of the Lord. So the other books he compiled. Chakara Bhagavan Rishihi, but he didn't write. He only wrote 3 books. All the rest he compiled. But he wrote the Bhagavad. He heard the Bhagavad Gita, he wrote it, then he put it into Mahabharata. We are thinking it is the other way around, but it's wrong. It was inserted within Mahabharata. The 18 divine chapters are a shard of the immortal nectar of the wisdom of the Absolute. It's a shard of nectar. Oh mother, see, he calls Bhagavad Gita mother. Interesting, huh? Bhagavad Gita is a mother. We have 7 mothers. It's one of the mothers. Destroyer of man's rebirth into the darkness of this mortal world. Upon you I meditate. So do you know that Srila Prabhupada commented on Gita Mahatmya? I've got the purpose of Srila Prabhupada here. See? Prabhupada had so many plans to publish so many books. He couldn't have time to do it all. One time he told his disciples, I'm going to write the Bhagavad Gita. So then the disciples were puzzled. You already wrote the Bhagavad Gita. You commented upon the Bhagavad Gita. He got his manuscript stolen twice. Once in the 30s and one in 65. But he has his intention, he told that day to his disciples, my intention is to also publish all the commentaries on the Gita, from Ramanuj, from Baladev Vidyabhushan, from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Adi Shankar, There's at least 100, 150 commentaries on the Gita. Bhagavatam saying. So he had the intent to publish the book. He didn't have time. But he commented upon Gita Mahatmya. This is the purport of Srila Prabhupada. Sripad Shankaracharya was an impersonalist from the materialistic point of view. But he never denied the spiritual form of Lord Krishna, Satchitananda Vigraha, all eternal, blissful, full of knowledge, that existed before the creation. Ahami Vasamevagre, Nanya Yasadasat Param, one of the Shatushloki of Bhagavatam says, Krishna is telling Brahma, I was there before Brahma. I'm also here during the creation and I'm after the creation. So, Lord Krishna is the Nimitta Karan, the remote cause of everything. Everything is happening by cause and effect, but Krishna is Nimitta Karan, the remote cause. So, Srila Prabhupada goes on to say, when he spoke of Supreme Brahman, when Shankara spoke of Supreme Brahman as impersonal, he meant that the Lord's Satchitananda form was not to be confused with the material conception of personality. So when we say, and this is a trick, oh, Brahman is Nirakar, Nirvishesh, what does it mean? And we sing in the morning, Nirvishesha, Shunyavadi, Prashvatyaradesha. Nirvishesh, we are saying Brahman is Nirvishesh. No attributes, Nirakar, formless. So immediately the Mayavadi's ears will prick up. Oh, great, Brahman is absolute. There's no differentiation. But how do we have to understand in the Vaishnava way? How do we understand Brahman is undifferentiated, no attributes, no form? How do we relate it to our Vaishnava philosophy?
Just one of the aspects.
It means he has no material attributes. He has no material form.
No.
You follow? He has spiritual form. He has spiritual attributes. But when we say Nirakar, Nirvishesh, means he has no material attributes. He has no material form. In the very beginning of his commentary on the Gita, Shankaracharya maintains that Narayan, the Supreme Lord, is transcendental to the material creation. Srila Prabhupada always used to quote that verse. Narayana para vyaktat. Shankara is quoting that verse. Narayan was there before the creation. Avyaktat. The Lord existed before the creation as the transcendental personality, and he has nothing to do with material personality. Lord Krishna is the same supreme personality, and he has no connection with the material body. So why Krishna is bleeding at times? There are some with Bhishma. Bhishma is throwing arrows to Lord Krishna in Virya Ras, and he's got Virya Ras. He's got this ras of chivalry. And he's so happy to see the Lord bleeding, oozing out blood. We are hearing here, he has no material body. How can you bleed if you have no material body? This is a conundrum. This is a conundrum. Anyway, you can try to reconcile everything in the light of Krishna consciousness. How can you bleed if you have no material body?
Spiritual blood.
How can you what?
Actually, Vishwanath Chakravarti explains that Bhishma was in the mood of Virya. Virya means chivalry. How does he love Krishna? He wants to fight with Krishna. That is his love. Just like sometimes you fight with your son, he's beating you, my son is beating me badly. But it's out of love. Sometimes he hurts me. And I also, chahuté, on dit en français. Chahuté. But it's out of love. So, in the same way, Lord Krishna is Rasaraj. Akil Rasamrit Murti. Any type of ras you entertain and you want to show your bhav, your love, your emotions towards that ras, Krishna will acknowledge that. So Vishwanath explained, just like between men and women, duly married, sometimes it's very specific. In love making, the woman may bite the man. Love bites. But does the man mind? Does he find fault with that? No. It's out of love. So in the same way, Lord Krishna is willing to ooze out blood for the sake of pleasing Vishnu. Vishnu is Mahata. So you can understand, how to reconcile. He descends in a spiritual eternal form, but foolish people mistake his body to be like ours. Avajanantin mamuda, manushintanu nashutara, parambhava majananto, mamamuda, mayaram. They deride Krishna. It's called what is the verse? Atmavan manyate jagat. Now you project Atmavan manyate jagat. You project your consciousness on the plane of matter. You look at matter, you behold matter. What do you do actually? You project your consciousness on the plane of matter. That's all you do. And you dare to pass judgment on the Supreme Personality of God. You project, you superimpose your consciousness on Krishna Tattva. This is very dangerous. This is foolishness. So, and then Srila Prabhupada concludes, Shankara's preaching of impersonalism is especially meant for teaching foolish people who consider Krishna to be an ordinary man composed of matter. So those who want to be fooled will be fooled. Those who don't want to be fooled will become Vaishnava. Namostute vyas vishal bude fula ravindaya tapatran metre yenak tvaya barat tela purna prajvalito gyanamaya pradipaha. Obeisances to you, Adishuka is offering obeisances to Vyasadeva now. You are of mighty intellect, and your eyes are large as the petals of the full-blown lotus. It was by you that the oil-filled lamp of knowledge of the Mahabharata was lit. So he's glorifying, Shankara is glorifying Vyasadeva. No one would care to read the Gita if it hadn't been spoken by a material man. It's true. Certainly Vyasadeva wouldn't have bothered to incorporate it into the history of Mahabharata. Again, see, it has been inserted within Mahabharata. We are thinking it's coming out of Mahabharata. No, it has been inserted with it. Different. So this is a very good point. If any Tom, Dick and Harry had written Gita, no one would give a damn. But it was spoken, it was written actually by Shakara Bhagavan Rishihi. And Vyasadeva is called Shakara Bhagavan Rishihi. Is the literary incarnation of God. According to the above verses, Mahabharata is the history of the ancient world. And Vyasadeva is the writer of this great epic. This Gita is identical with Krishna. Same. Because Krishna is the absolute personality of Godhead, there is no difference between Krishna and his words. Therefore, the Gita is as worshipable as Lord Krishna himself. Both both being absolutes. One who hears Bhagavad Gita as it is, actually hears the words directly from Krishna. But unfortunate persons, same story. They are thinking the Gita is too antiquated. It's antiquity. No, it's bygone. No more. It's got no more values. It's got no more practical application today. Is it true?
No.
I said, give me a reason why Gita is still applicable today in 22nd century. People may say, no, it's outmodern.
No,
We are modern now. Yes?
moral,
Sorry?
morality.
Try to tell me why this Gita is still valid today
Yeah.
in modern times.
For morality. the same-
Morality, oh I see. Okay. Why not?
Les transcendants.
Yeah, because we're dealing with Atma Gyan. We're not the body. That's always valid. Whichever part of the creation you are born, whichever time. So this is the point of Shankara. Verse number 3. Prapanna parijataya totra vetrika panaye gyan mudraya krishnaya gitamrita duhe namaha. Now he's offering obeisances to Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is the refuge of the ocean-born Lakshmi. Remember, Lakshmi was born from the ocean. And all take refuge at his lotus feet. His one hand holds a staff for driving cows. And Krishna is a goat, so he's driving the cow. And the other hand is raised. The thumb touching the tip of the forefinger, indicating divine knowledge. Is the milker, celui qui traite, of the immortal nectar of Bhagavad Gita. This is a beautiful analogy. Is the milker, just like you milk a cow. You milk Bhagavad Gita. Who is the cow?
Arjuna.
Arjuna was a cow. Now, Sripada Shankaracharya, Prabhupada is translating, is commenting. You fools, he's telling his disciples, just worship Govinda. Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Govinda, Mudamate. You are totally getting caught within the suffixes, prefixes of the Shastra. You lost it. You blew it badly. Bhaja Govinda, Bhaja Mudamate. You are Muda. Actually, the real culprit is not Shankara. Who is the culprit? One of the disciples of Shankara. He wrote one book, Vedanta Sara. This is a nasty fellow. Not Shankara. Shankara is Lord Shiva. This fellow has written Vedanta Sara. His name is, forgetting his name. Can find it for you. He's the one who propagated, who actually fortified and broadcasted Kevala Jatavada. It's not Shankara. Just like you have seen the Christ came, and so many apostles, they announced their own understanding. Pierre, Peter, Mark, Luke, they all had their own rendering on Christ. But Christ himself is very narrow. Yeah. So in the same with Shankara. That is why we have to be careful with Sri Prabhupada. We don't interpret his teachings. Already some are trying to do it. Trying to touch on the book. So you fools, just worship Govinda and that Bhagavad Gita, spoken by Narayan himself. Yet foolish people still conduct their research work to find out Narayan. Prabhupada is heavy. They are wretched. Waste their time for nothing. Lord Narayan is not wretched, no Daridra. The Daridra Narayan, the Mayavadis, they say Daridra Narayan. We are all, you are poor Narayan. Daridra Narayan. We are Narayan, but we are poor. Once we shake up from our illusion, we shrug it off, again we become Narayana. This is the philosophy. We have to shrug it off, just like you shrug off something off your shoulder. We have to shrug off our Maya, then we will we'll again become again Narayana. Foolish, totally foolish philosophy. Convoluted philosophy. He is worshipped by Lakshmi as well by all the jivas. Shankara declared himself to be Brahman, but he admits Narayan or Krishna to be the Supreme. So let's go to the fourth verse. Oftentimes Prabhupada quotes that verse. Sarvopanishado gavo dogda gopal nandanaha paratu vyatsam sudir bhokta dugdam gitamritam mahat. The Upanishads are compared to a herd of cows, a troupeau. There used to be thousands of Upanishads, thousands. Then down to 108, down to 11. Then Gita is Upanishad, Gita Upanishad, Shri Upanishad. But there used to be herds, thousands. Lord Krishna, is the son of a cow-herd, is the mother. See, Lord Krishna is the mother. We are saying it's Pita Mata, but it's also mother. Pita Mata, both. According to Shankar, Krishna is the mother. Arjuna is the calf. The supreme nectar of the Gita is the milk. And the wise man of purified intellect is the drinker. So we should be the drinkers of the Gita. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Unless one understands spiritual variegatedness, one cannot understand the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. Yes, it's a very important point. Just like, why do we have variegatedness in this material world? Why do we have, open the window, how many shades of green? How many shades of green? At least 40, 50 shades of green. Just green. Just green. You find so many hues of green. So how do we account for the variegatedness of this world? Because there's a very telling. Tejo valibidam yata vinimayo yatra krisabo mrisha. Whatever we behold outside is just a transformation of the modes. Isn't it? Whatever we behold is transformation of the modes. Then he goes, there's a amrisha. Amrisha means almost real. If you say it's real, if you say this natural world is real, what is your philosophy? Materialist. Very good. You did well. If you say this world is real, you're a bhukta. You're a bhukta. You are, how do you say, a bogey. If you say this world is unreal, you are Mayavadi. So, yesterday is so sharp. Amrisha means almost real. Why almost real? How do you relate? How can you make it almost real? There's only one solution. If it is almost real,
it exists.
It means it exists somewhere else. And what is the answer? 15th chapter of the Gita. It is a reflection. You cannot say the reflection is wrong. It's false. The reflection is indicative of the source, that the source is somewhere else. It's indicative. If you say that the reflection is wrong, is it correct? Un reflet. Si on dit que le reflet est faux, est-ce que c'est correct? If you say the reflection is true,
Non plus.
non plus. Very good. So admiration, c'est l'intelligence of yesterday. In other words, it's indicative that the source of the reflection is elsewhere. We know the story. If you have an apple tree on the banks of the pond, of the lake, you see the reflected apple on the water. Can you touch the apple? It's a reflection, but the apple is elsewhere on the bank of the tree, on the bank of the lake. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur used to say, this material world is the dictionary of the spiritual world. So well put. Dictionary of the spiritual world. When you study a dictionary, what is your intent?
Trying to find out about words.
You're trying to find out about a particular word, expression. Everything is there. So if you study this world in the light of the Shastra Shakshu, you can understand actually it's indicative. It's indicative that it's pointing out to a different reality. This is the beauty of Bhagavatam and the Gita. So we know Anandamoy Chinmoy Rasa. Krishna is Anandamoy Chinmoy Rasa. Everything is transcendental in him, his form, his qualities, pastimes, his devotees. There is no end. Again, fools deride him, nothing new. Now let's, another verse of Shankar, Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kam Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. So he's the beloved son of Vasudeva, destroyer of Kams and Shanu, supreme bliss of Mother Devaki, Guru of the universe.
This is Shankaracharya quoting from his book, Gita Jayanti. Is that right?
Yeah. Actually, Shankar wrote that book.
Gita Mahatma.
Gita Danyan. See, within Gita Mahatma we find Gita Danyan.
Jan.
No, Gita Danyan.
Daniel.
Danyan means meditation. Dhyana, meditation. Gita Dhyanam was written by Shankar within Gita Mahatma. So he explains very nicely. A Prabhupada translated, commented. It's amazing. I don't know why it wasn't published by DBT. I still wonder.
The book is finished?
I have it in my computer. It should be published.
Because one of the King Kulashekhar's book was not finished, right? Prabhupada.
Yeah, could be. But this one, I've got it all here. 58 pages. Okay, then he's going to, because time is running. Now he's talking about Mahabharata. Bhishma, Drone, Tata, Jayadrat, Jala, Gandhari, Nilotpala, Sharya, Grahavati, Kripena, Vahini, Kamina, Velakul, Ashvatama, Vikarna, Gura, Makala, Duryodhana, Bhartini, Sotirna Kalu, Pandaravanava, Nadi, Kavartaka, Keshava. So Shankar is talking about the battle now. Of the terrifying river of the battlefield of Kurukshetra. It's a terrifying river. It can be, we say Gita is a river of nectar, but also it's a river of blood. And remember how many people died? 540 million, 54 crores. There were 5 lakes of blood, Samantapanchai. I've been there. The soil is like his jacket. The jacket of Gora Hari Prabhu. I've been there. 52 centuries later, la terre elle est ocre. Ocre. Ocre in French means like this.
Ocre.
Ocre. So much blood was imbibed by the soil. Can you imagine? So it's a terrifying river, definitely. Over which the Pandavas victoriously crossed. Bhishma and Drona were its high banks. Very interesting, huh? Shankara is quite poetic. The river, you got two banks, Bhishma and Drona. Jayadrat was the river's water. Remember Jayadrat? Jayadrat, you could not kill him. And he's the one who wanted to abduct. Remember? He wanted to abduct Draupadi. He got married that day. He's so lusty, still is trying to steal Draupadi on the very same day of his marriage. And he got severely chastised. Severely. The king of Gandhar, the blue water lily. There were sharks. Sharks. Who were the sharks? Sharya, Kripa. Kripa was the current of the river. And Kripacharya. Kripacharya was the twin brother of Kripi. Kripi married Drona. Karna. Karna was the mighty wave of the battle. Ashvatam, Vikarna, dreadful alligators. Alligators. Duryodhana, the very whirlpool. It was the whirlpool of the water, of the river. Remember, Duryodhana was an extension of Kali Yuga. He was empowered by the Danavas. The Danavas, each time Duryodhana would tend to weaken, Danavas would come that night and format him again to become evil. Danavas. It's a absolute place, the Danavas. Lord Krishna was the ferryman. Beautiful. Shankara is so poetic. The ferryman, you know the ferryman, it helps you to cross over. You want to cross the river? You need a ferryman. This is Lord Krishna. Beautiful. May the spotless lotus of the words of yesterday that grows on the internal waters of the words of Lord Hari, with its filaments of various tales of heroes, and which is rightly endowed with the sweet fragrance of the explanations of the Bhagavad Gita, its nectar being quaffed with pleasure. Quaffed means drunk. Daily in this world by saintly persons who are compared to so many nectar-seeking bumblebees, which destroys all the sins of Kali Yuga. May this lotus of the Mahabharata bestow on us the highest good. And then, you know the verse we always sing, Mukum, Mukam, Karoti Vacharam, Pangunyam, Yalate Girim, Yakripatama Mande, Pramananda Matayam. Madhavendra, it's coming from here. It's coming from here. Gita Mahatma. Gita Dhyana, actually. Then he quotes, Shankar quotes Bhagavatam now, 12, 13, 1. So now we have 10 minutes left. What are the 5 subject matters of the Gita? What are the 5 topics, the tattva of the Gita? Quels sont les 5 sujets de la Bhagavad Gita? Comment tu t'appelles? Pardon? Jocelyn. Ouais, je deviens vieux. Donc les 5 sujets de la Gita.
Krishna, le Jiva, le temps, la matière et le karma.
Okay, very good. Which is the only one which is not eternal?
Karma.
Very good.
Material nature. Oh, no, sorry.
Karma.
Sorry. Karma.
So, Srila Prabhupada is talking about, within the book, he has put an article on the 5 subject matters of the Gita. So I don't want to be too philosophical because
Very hungry. It's okay.
Okay, now after that, there is an overview of the 18 chapters. How many chapters in the Gita?
18.
Did you notice that 18 is in terms of numerology? It's a very interesting number. I don't know if you are familiar with numerology. 1 plus 8?
9.
Did you notice in Mahabharata this figure 18? How much it comes up so often? Give me some.
18 days of war.
Very good. 18 chapters. How many actually is? 18. How many Puranas? 18. See? It's quite interesting. Where the Gita was spoken exactly?
Kurukshetra.
Yes, but to be more precise even, Jyotisha. Jyotisha is 5 kilometers away from Kurukshetra. They say that the banyan tree there is the same. I don't know how far it's true. They say it is the same. That Lord Krishna was under. How long did the Bhagavad Gita last for, the conversation?
45 minutes.
45 minutes. We are reading it, we have been reading it for 52 centuries. We do Bhakti Shastri for months on end. But for Arjuna it was a matter of 45 minutes talk. He got the point in 45 minutes. You understand the intelligence of Arjuna? 45 minutes, story is over. At the end of the Bhagavad Gita, he says, yes, I'm convinced. He grabs his ball. So, Jayadev is going to give a synopsis of each chapter. What I'll do, I'll jump at the very end of the book. It's beautiful also. There's another section. It's mentioned, this is really actually Gita Mahatmya. It starts here. Vyasadeva has written on each chapter the glory of each chapter, and is going to give a particular story behind each chapter. So we have no time, just give me one chapter and we will discuss about that chapter. Chapter 9, okay. He's the president, so we have to listen.
Yeah.
Let him speak. If you want to go take breakfast, please go.
Huh?
Let him speak. He's a speaker. He has a
I know
choice.
he's a speaker, but if I can hear something, I'll be happy, you know.
Sure. You need to buy some better earplugs or something. You know? The speakers are working now. Three over that we sorted out the speakers. You cannot.
No,
put
my
pressure on
Krishna
them.
will speak anyway, you know.
So this is the glories of chapter 9 as extolled in Padma Purana. I'm speaking loud. So I told you behind each chapter, we have to understand one thing before we start. The Shastra are personified. When Lord Brahma in his court, he has a debate. We are discussing now Bhagavatam, we're quoting this Upanishad, Gita, Padma Purana. Do you know how it is like in the court of Brahma? The personified scriptures will come in the court of Brahma and speak. Padma Purana is a person. Gita is a person. Srimad Bhagavatam is a person. Shvetashvatara Upanishad is a person. They come and they have a debate with Lord Brahma. And the last person who comes is Srimad Bhagavatam. So don't think it's a book. It's a beautiful book. It's not different from Krishna, but it's also a person. It's an expansion of Krishna. It's Krishna himself. 9th chapter from Padma Purana, Lord Shiva said, my dear Parvati, now I will relate to you the glories of the 9th chapter. There was a town, Mahishmati. It's a city in India, Mahishmati. It's on the bank of which river? My wife is from there, so I know. Narmada River. Narmada is, I used to live in Indore. When you turn the tap water, it's Narmada. Narmada is sacred water. It's Ganga, Gangecha Yamuna Shiva, Godavari Sarasvati, Navere Sidhu Kaveri, Jalismin Sanidin Kuru. These are all the rivers of India. They are sacred. Narmada is one of them. Turn to tap. I was looking at Narmada. It's beautiful. So that town is there, Maheshmati. One Brahman was there, Brahmana, Madhav. That Brahmana very strictly followed all the injunctions of the Vedas. He possessed all the good qualities of a Brahmanical class. He was very learned. He would receive lots of dan, charity. And he accumulated great wealth. So he thought to himself, let me perform a fire yagya, home yagya. And he figured, let me sacrifice a goat. We have to, in India sometimes they do that. And the Kamakandiya. A goat was bought, and when they started to cleanse the goat in preparation for the yagya, all of a sudden the goat started to laugh. And the goat spoke out loud. Oh, Brahmana, what is the benefit of performing so many fire yagyas that simply bind us up in the will of samsara? Just in my position, due to my performing so many fire yagyas. Performing yagyas also. See my pitiful condition? When everyone gathered, they heard the words of the goat, they gathered, they became curious. And then the Brahman inquired with folded hands, how did you become a goat? In your previous life, which caste did you belong to? Which activities did you perform? The goat replied, O Brahmana, in my previous birth, I was born in a very pure Brahman family. And I very carefully performed all the ritualistic ceremonies enjoined in the Vedas, Kama Kandiya. One day my wife wished to worship Durga so that our child might be cured of this disease. For this purpose, she requested me to bring one goat. When we sacrificed the goat at the temple of Mother Durga, the goat cursed me. O sinful, lost of all, you wish to make my children fatherless? For this reason, you will also take birth as a goat. O Madhav, now the goat is speaking to the Brahmana. O Madhav, when the time for my death came, I attained this body of a goat by the grace of Lord Govinda. I can remember my previous birth. If you wish to hear one another interesting story, then I will tell you. So the goat is going to tell the story. We're almost finished. In the place known as Kurukshetra, which is capable of giving liberation, once lived a king of the name Chandra Sharma, who was in the dynasty of Surya Vansh, sun god. Once at the time of the solar eclipse, the king wished to give charity to one Brahmana. Included in the charity was a Shudra. So he was, including in his charity, he was giving a man in charity, amongst so many other things. That man happened to be a Shudra, very black. After going with his priest and taking bath in a sacred lake, putting on clean cloth and applying sandalwood, he returned to his place. With devotion, he gave charity to a qualified Brahmana. After he had presented the charity, all of a sudden, from that black Shudra's heart, one very sinful Chandala appeared. Chandala means dog eater. And after a while, a female Chandala appeared from that black Shudra's body. And together they went close to the Brahmana. All of a sudden, they entered the body of the Brahmana. The Brahman remained undisturbed and started to chant the 9th chapter of the Gita. While remembering Lord Govinda, the king, witnessing all these activities, was stunned, unable to say anything. As soon as the words of the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita came on the lips of that Brahmana, the Vishnudutta appeared and chased away the two Chandalas. At that time the king inquired from the Brahmana, "O learned one, who were those two persons and which mantra did you chant? Which deity did you remember?" The Brahmana replied, "Taking the form of a Chandala, sin personified appeared, along with our friends personified in the form of a female Chandala. At that time I started chanting the 9th chapter, which is capable of releasing one from all fearful situations. By reciting the 9th chapter of the Gita, I was able to remember the lotus feet of Govinda." Yeah, only one few sentences. Upon hearing this, the king learned the chanting of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter from the Brahmana. Gradually, he managed to attain the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. When Madhav heard this discourse from the goat, he immediately freed the goat and started to engage in reciting the 9th chapter of the Gita. And thus he gained the lotus feet of Govinda. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki?
Jai.
The 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita ki?
Jai.
Shri Adi Shankaracharya ki?
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki?
Jai.
Gita Jayanti ki?
Jai.
Today is also Moksha Ekadashi. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Puri Prabhu ki Jai.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Books. Today is Saturday. We're going on Harinam. Please, everyone, try to meditate how we can distribute Srila Prabhupada's books.
Especially Gita today. That's an extra bonus if you distribute Gita.
Privato.